Last week, we found out Will, Human Nightmare, couldn't even teach or speak Spanish correctly. Ricky Martin sang I'm Sexy and I Know It, and Emma got tenure. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Yay!
Oh yeah, Emma got tenure, that random thing that I don't think happens in high schools.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you don't get tenure in high school.
No.
You know, I meant to look it up, and then I didn't. So.
You used to.
Oh,
You
really?
used to. Mm-hmm.
Really?
In high school?
Huh.
Yep, it's a thing in high school too, or it was, from what I understand.
Wow, so maybe it's just not as common now, and the people who wrote the show were like, yeah, that's still a thing, right? And we're like, I don't think so. Not anymore.
I could be wrong, but
Gleeboot.
Well, the person who is, in fact, so knowledgeable about things passed on is my mother. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
thank you. I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to it.
Yay, Beth is here.
Yes, Beth. I was going to introduce you as Beth, and then I was like, that's weird because you're my mom. So.
Yes, I have a name other than Mom. Miss Beth.
I think all moms do. I don't know if you knew
Whoa.
Well, welcome to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk and talk about rebooting Glee one episode at a time. I'm Cullen.
Alyssa.
And I'm Hannah.
And I'm Beth.
Yes.
So, Beth, it feels weird calling you that, but
Well, what do you normally call me?
I think I just say hi. I call you
Okay,
Nicola.
that's fair.
Was there something you want to be called?
Beth is fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did her character in that short film we did have a name?
No.
Because we did act alongside her once.
It is true. Both Cullen and Hannah acted alongside the star of my short film, who was my mother, playing a divination.
Yeah.
lady.
A fortune teller?
Yeah.
Fortune
A
teller.
divination lady.
Actually, it's funny you guys bring that up because I was thinking about it this morning.
Aw.
And how, as my skirt fell to the sidewalk, I remember thinking, oh, well, I will never see these people again. They're just friends of Alyssa's in her grad school program. And here we are.
Yep. That's great. Yeah, we're sticking around.
Yep. So anyway, there's that.
The part with the skirt falling is not actually in the video, so if you look up the video just to watch that, it won't be there.
No.
Thank goodness.
So, what is your history with the show Glee?
My history started with your podcast, actually. And this episode was the very first episode I've ever watched.
But you've listened to the podcast.
Of course.
Yay.
Yes, of course. I
Mom
love to
of the
hear you guys.
podcast and avid listener. I love it.
All right. So
Yeah, so that's the extent of my history. About an hour and a half. 'Cause I did, in fact, watch it twice.
Oh, very nice.
expert here.
Yeah.
That's one more time than I watched it, so.
Yep.
Well, I watched it yesterday, and then I saw the email today, and I thought, well, maybe if I watch it again and actually know who the characters are after looking through the little clues that you gave me, the links,
Yeah.
then maybe I'll have a little different outlook on it, and I won't feel like it was 45 minutes of my life wasted.
That's how I feel every week.
Did it help?
It helped only in that I was able to enjoy the songs a little bit more rather than still trying to figure out who was singing and who was doing what. I was able to listen to the music. I like the music a lot.
Yeah, this episode has some good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The storylines.
Take it or leave it, you know?
Yeah. So did you take the BuzzFeed quizzes?
I did.
I'm excited.
What were your results?
I did only because Alyssa asked me to. I'm like, what is that? What is she talking about? She's like, take them. So I took them.
All right, what did you get?
Yeah, what did you get?
So I am a parent. Well, do you guys want to guess?
Ooh. Yeah, Alyssa, you guess, because you know your mom the best.
Guess.
Who do you think she is?
Oh, I don't know. I guess that you're Rachel.
No.
Okay. I guess.
I'm Finn.
You're Finn!
We get a lot of Finns on the show. Very nice.
Okay, I guess I'm dating.
What?
I guess that you're dating Blaine.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm dating Sam.
Yay!
Oh. Mother and daughter have to duke it out.
Oh, is that your boyfriend too?
Yes, he's my Glee boyfriend too.
Oh yeah, your Glee boyfriend. Sorry. Not really.
Yeah, that'd be a real like hot take. Like, yeah, Alyssa is dating Sam. The character, not the actor.
Right?
Somehow that's working.
Character whenever they're on their date.
So yes, that was, and I struggled through the quiz. Like the first one was very different than the second one. I think I pressed a wrong button somewhere, but I did figure it out.
Yay!
I mean, you got pretty good results.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was happy. They're both admirable characters.
Yeah, they're both in the episode that you watched.
Yeah.
Yes. That's nice.
So today we're discussing season 3 episode. Oh, drinks! I always forget
Oh
drinks.
yeah.
Oh.
I just finished mine. I'm drinking a Stella again.
It's only been like 5 minutes.
He's thirsty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sips.
Oh, you're drinking a Stella? That's one of my favorite beers.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking a mint martini, which looks like milk with ice in it, as we have previously discussed.
Yeah.
But it has 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of creme de menthe, and 1 ounce of Baileys, and 1 ounce of almond milk. And I actually use the almond milk Baileys as well because I think it tastes better.
It does. I agree.
Yeah, I think it really does. It's a little bit less heavy.
Yep.
And I kind of guessed with the amounts of everything because I already packed up my drink mixing kit.
Oh yeah.
We're moving.
You guys are
We're
moving.
packing things.
A new recording studio next week.
And we're going to have central air, so we're not going to be like dying in the heat in the summer.
Yay!
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And the window opens up on a less busy street.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
So we won't have as many interruptions from the outdoors.
It is like
Oh,
not a good picturesque view, but it's like an alley, so there's
It's
not
like
going to be cars.
It's like a Starbucks parking lot.
Yeah.
You might have more entertainment that way.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
one way to look at it.
So instead of cars going by, there might be like a brawl in the alley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I'm drinking, it's a Pinot Noir, and it is Francis Ford Coppola's brand again. This is his 2017 Sonoma County Pinot Noir. It's a director's cut. That's the sort of theme of it. It's very, very good.
Is the label on crooked?
It kind of like, I don't know how to explain that. It's diagonal.
I see. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we think it's supposed to be that way.
Turns out this is a unique bottle that they screwed up.
Right.
So it's worth so much money, and here I am just drinking it.
And what are you drinking, Mom?
I am drinking a Jamaican Breeze.
What is in that?
Funny you should ask. All my memories from Jamaica last year. No.
Oh,
And
True.
also vodka, grapefruit juice, and a little bit of cranberry juice.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Turns out if you put way too much vodka in my little favorite drink glass, you can pour it in this glass and say, wow, it's almost the same size. Add a little bit more grapefruit and be happy.
There you go.
perfect.
All right, everyone takes a drink. Like, refreshing.
So we're discussing season 3, episode 13, Heart, a Valentine's Day special, Alyssa's favorite holiday.
That is wrong.
Yeah, and this is
Day.
Mine too.
Like mother's daughter.
Yeah.
this is coming out on around Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate.
Oh,
Yeah. Happy
Alyssa.
Valentine's Day to those who keep Hallmark in business.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
I like the heart-shaped what are they called? Zebra cakes. I get a hankering for those every February. I buy like 3 boxes and then I don't eat them for a whole year. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And also hang out with my boyfriend.
What do you like?
So do you know what zebra cakes are? They're like little hostess cakes. So
Okay.
they're like a hostess cake, but then for February, for Valentine's Day, they make them in the shape of hearts and they taste better. I don't know what it is that they just do. Like regular zebra cakes, I'm like, but then I'm like, heart shaped? Heck yes.
It's like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Right. Everyone says they taste better in the different holiday shapes.
Yes, they
Yeah,
do.
because there's a different ratio of peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe it is a different cake to frosting ratio.
Mhm.
Interesting. It's not that it's made with love.
Yes.
Made with love and affection.
Mm.
Yeah, I almost said last Halloween. Last Valentine's Day, I got everyone at work a Disney Princess Valentine.
Oh,
And I wrote them a little note. Yeah.
I
Are you doing that
did.
this year, Cullen?
No.
I did because this was back when we could actually like go into the office. I got them like holographic dinosaurs. Like when you moved them, the dinosaur would move. So it's like you twist it, and so the picture would move. It was pretty great. Everyone got a kick out of them. But then everyone else had like they were giving ones with candy and stuff. I'm like, you get a note and a dinosaur.
Meanwhile, here I am at work being like, wow, you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? You guys are users.
So no one at my work did anything but work.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yep.
So there were a lot of plots this week. Allison, the writer of this episode, Allison Adler, had a lot on her hands.
I love that you started with just her first name as if like you're besties with her.
My good friend Allison, who wrote this episode. So we're going to begin with the parent storyline. Because that's why we had Beth on today, because this week we meet Rachel's parents.
Yes.
I just want you guys to know that when I was watching the episode, I was like watching it and I had never seen it before. And there were some things happened and I just looked at Cullen and I was like, this is the episode that you gave my mom? Yeah. So that's interesting. I am excited to see what you have to say about it.
Am I supposed to say something right now? Okay. I will say that I think her dads are amazing.
Yes.
I do not like the way they sing.
Oh my gosh.
I love the way you said that.
Because there's a lot to go down there.
There's two singing scenes.
Oh. You're right.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-huh.
That's true. I had no idea that this was the first time they were introduced in the storyline till I went back and read the little history on Wikipedia. And then I was like, oh, so I'm not the only one seeing them for the first time. Okay. I really do like, what's his name?
Jeff Goldblum.
He's one of the dads. Yes, Jeff Goldblum.
So do
Yeah.
I
really like him. And I think I liked his personality in the show too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was cute. But yeah, so previous to this, did she reference her dads so you all knew that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think in the first season we even maybe see a picture of them, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same actors.
It's not them anymore because I read that little bit too.
Yeah, it's so funny. So like we're seeing them when they're like these two people, and then it's like, then what was the picture she had in her locker? Who were those people?
No longer her dad.
She was adopted again.
Right. Well, that was my second question. Was she adopted or was one of them? But then you just answered it.
Yeah, she was adopted.
No, it was because she said that in the beginning they mixed it all together, and so she's not sure which one is her biological father.
But didn't Idina just like get pregnant, or did she sign up to be inseminated?
She signed up to be inseminated if her the logic of the pilot, but the show doesn't always treat it that way.
Yes, right. So
that's so weird. So they mixed her dad's sperm together and inseminated Idina Menzel, and then she was adopted by her dads.
Yes, because in the joke in the pilot is that one of her dads is very obviously black, and she's like, and we don't know which one is my biological father, and it's like, haha, we know because she's white.
But we don't ever see them, so like it's not a good joke.
And it's not the joke.
Yeah.
This just proves our theory that every episode of Glee takes place in a completely different universe.
Yes, you are so correct.
Yep.
You know, we speak the truth on this podcast.
Amen. Which is a whole different storyline. So, are we going with the storyline of the whole parents?
Yeah.
All the parents and the dinner and everything?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about
I thought the dinner was hilarious. However, I am an adult, and some of the context of what was being said, I don't think probably should have been for children who will be watching Glee. I'm like, oh wow, really? Okay. Okay, am I the oldest person you've had on this podcast?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think everyone else has mostly just been like either like coworkers or friends and friends from grad school.
Okay. People you pay. I'm here because I'm a family member.
No, we don't pay them.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh God, do they think they're getting paid?
No. I'm just messing with you, Hannah.
So Finn and Rachel are summoned into the auditorium because they got a note from Mandy Patinkin.
Which, like, obviously, like, Rachel and Finn were, like, so excited by that person for different reasons. And I'm like, but why Finn? Why was Finn excited about Mandy Patinkin?
Well, who is that? Because I don't know what
He was in The Princess Bride, and he's also like, he was on Broadway a lot too. So like, that was my thought, was that Finn knows him from Princess Bride and Rachel knows him from Broadway.
Wait, who is he in Princess Bride?
He played, oh God, the guy who keeps repeating the "you killed my father, prepared to die" guy.
Oh.
Pretty sure it was.
So in real life, he played in that movie?
Yes.
And in real life, she played on Broadway with this person?
No. So he was on Broadway a lot. And I think like she is a fan of him because of that.
Okay. Because of her dad's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
The real question is why either of them think that Mandy Patinkin would send them from the office.
Well, and are children who are watching this going to get that correlation?
Probably not.
Well, I didn't.
Me
She's an
either,
adult.
Alyssa.
And also, like, wasn't there a Mandy Patinkin reference before, like way back in the series?
I don't know.
I think there was. Okay, you guys can go. I'm gonna.
You're gonna fact check.
Yeah.
Our half-assed fact checking.
Yeah. So they're in the auditorium and they hear going to the chapel, going to get married, and her dads come in. Their names are Hiram and Leroy.
Well, they roll in with a grand piano.
Yes.
Yeah.
With two random people pushing them.
Yeah.
And
the school just lets adults into the school, and it's
right.
It's atrocious.
I was wondering that same thing. It's back like when you guys were in school.
Yeah. Like my parents would have to sign in and get like a little sticker, and they'd have to walk around with some sort of pass. It's crazy. The show.
It is.
The logic.
All they needed to do is have a sticker that said visitor on it. That's it. That would change.
I could definitely see her dad's being, oh yeah, of course, we'll fill this out. We'll put it right here. Okay. They walk away and they instantly just throw it away. They're like, this is cashmere. No to the sticker.
Yep.
So Rachel's like, oh my gosh, dads. And they're like, we heard from Bert and Carol that you two are engaged. And Finn starts freaking out, and he's like, oh, I should have asked you first, but like, no, we're happy for you. And even though it increases your chance of divorce by like a certain percentage.
Isn't it like 80-something%?
Yeah, like a really high percent.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying like, we're happy for you and we want to have you over for a Valentine's Day dinner with your parents, like Carol and Bert.
Yeah. I was literally like, I can't believe they're okay with it. And then like thinking about what you just said about them mentioning the divorce rate increase, I was like, oh, I see. I understand. It's very small planting.
Question though, like we never see Kurt tell his parents.
Right.
And it was in Finn, we know Finn didn't tell Bert, right? So it had to have been Kurt, but we never see it and they never say it. So they, like, Bert and Carol just randomly found out.
It is later on in a different scene where Rachel says, Shoo, you were trying to tell our parents. But he was like, it wasn't me. And that's when Kurt was like, so...
I did it.
Yeah, it's in a later
Yeah.
scene. I don't like
Yeah.
that, like, it's just...
It's too late, though.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
It is too late in the episode for that to be revealed. There's no tension or anything.
Yeah, no one's like, oh my God, who told our parents? It's just like, oh, we're having a dinner? Great. And then it's like, I was the one who told them. It was like, okay, next.
Yeah, because the next thing I want to talk about is when Finn and Rachel announced their engagement to the choir room. And Kurt and Quinn are both kind of like, you're too young to be making this kind of decision. And Tina is like, I support this and I want to wear a bridesmaid dress. Because Rachel's like, Quinn, if you don't support me, you're not coming to the wedding. And I would have loved for you to be a bridesmaid.
Okay, I mean...
How Tina's just like automatically, I'm definitely going to be a bridesmaid.
She can't pass up an opportunity to be a part of something because the show rarely wants her to be a part of something.
True, but like, what person goes into a room and then someone announces their wedding and then they're like, I'll be a bridesmaid? That's not
I bet you Rachel was like,
work.
oh, wait, Tina, you're still here? Oh, yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, so they announced it to the choir room, and then we cut later on. They're at the Barry's house, and they're singing "You're the Top" from Anything Goes with Rachel, and Finn and Bert and Carol are just sitting there watching, and Finn's like, "Why don't we do this?" And Carol just looks at him, just like
Carol has the best face, like, "Oh God, no!"
Like she's horrified.
So has she been on other episodes?
Yeah.
Carol,
Yes.
she pops up every once in a while, but every time she's there, she steals the show. She's so good.
You know, I like her. I've seen her in other shows. And
Yeah.
she does steal the show.
Yeah, she's a great actor for sure. Also, I just want to note that she's got a very like first lady look kind of outfit because she is, what is she, like a representative's wife now? Because Bert is a representative.
Representative.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's very like kind of dressed up, and I was like, I like it. Because also Hiram mentions, he's like, I want to have, Bert, who owns a tire shop, and Carol, who used to wear a lot of denim, told us that you were getting married.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I'm like, who are these people he was talking about who wear denim and tires and whatever?
He was like, hey, audience, you remember these people? These are the strongest characteristics.
Okay.
She used to
Yeah.
wear denim. Her denim days are gone.
Because Kurt was like, no.
True.
Yeah.
I was
Look, there's Suki.
What?
I said, oh, look, there's Suki.
Yeah, she's right here.
She's waiting for her food.
Yeah, she is. She just sits right in
It
front
will dispense soon.
Yep.
She's
Yeah.
40 minutes.
My roommate's cat Fiero will do the same thing. It goes off at 8:00, and she literally will start meowing at like 7:15. Like, I'm so hungry, and I'm like, you have to wait 45 minutes to get a watch. Like, learn to read time. You're gonna
Here,
be okay.
let's set a timer.
Yeah. And like the thing, it'll go off, then she like zooms to go get it, and I'm like, see, like it's fine.
These
Cats.
animals. Sorry, we digress.
We always digress
Of
here.
course we do.
Yes, I know. I listen to your podcast.
Gleeboot, the digression.
So they're at dinner, and they're talking, and so Finn is like, how did you meet? And they talk about they were in a soap opera, right?
Up with people. It's not a soap opera.
It's
I looked it up,
a
actually.
music group, right?
No, it is an organization where they volunteer to help. I want to say like third world countries, so they travel and they go places. Because I'd heard of it, I'm like, what is that? I remember hearing about that.
Huh.
So
I thought it was a singing group because they sing so
I
much.
thought it was some performance thing.
I thought it was a performance thing, but I had no idea what it was.
I mean, you can do a fact check for sure because I had started drinking at that point, so I might have tempted and wrong.
Honestly, I could not follow that conversation at all.
Me either.
And I also couldn't follow their little singing thing at the piano. Like, was it my imagination, or was Jeff Goldblum just kind of like mumbling the lyrics and then not actually doing anything but playing the piano?
That's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's just how he sings. So, but I also was like, I don't recognize this. And then you said it was from Anything Goes, and I was like, is this how they sing it?
I don't think so.
I
It was very.
I'm like, I didn't recognize it at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
found
Alyssa,
that
weren't you
because
in Anything Goes?
Yes.
Do you recall that song?
No.
Were you in a wheelchair? Was that the one you were in the wheelchair?
Yes.
Okay.
our own Artie Abrams, an able person performing in a wheelchair.
Hey, I was disabled at the time. I had a broken foot.
Oh, is this?
Oh.
I remember this story now.
He talked about this in a podcast
I'm sure that I did. It was quite traumatic.
about her director and how he was like, get her off the stage
Yeah.
when she fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry again, we digress.
Yes. But about the dinner scene, I wish that Kurt was there because that would have brought so much more tension into the scene.
Oh, absolutely. Because Kurt could have been like, what's happening? What's happening? What do you mean? You want, like, that would have been so interesting.
And it's like one of those things where I feel like this is a family dinner, and if Kurt wasn't invited, that would be a huge insult.
Oh, wait, stop.
Okay.
Hammer time.
Kurt's dad is married to Finn's mom?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
They're a blended
Okay.
family.
okay. Gotcha. Sorry, catching up.
But yeah, no, that's a good point. I think if Kurt didn't have his own weird little storyline going on, he would have been there, and that would have made so much more sense in general.
And it
Yes.
just added so much good drama.
Because the tension,
Oh, because the whole show doesn't have enough drama. You need to add
more.
I feel like it has drama in all the wrong places. Like,
Yes.
Right?
like the Kurt versus their marriage thing is such a huge, like,
Sing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. And then they don't do anything. Like, they have this big dinner and they don't do anything about it.
yeah. And because all the tension is literally just the audience being like, what are these parents doing? But like Kurt could be there to be our voice and like play up some of the tension. And, you know, probably like Bert and Carol would be like trying to have, like, they would all have to try to like explain why they're supporting it. And we could start to see those cracks in their arguments and stuff. It would be really, really interesting.
I thought it was hilarious. Whole thing. Like, oh yeah, that would happen.
I was really confused about the lube conversation at first, but then I was like, wait, no, Bert's into this. Okay, they're talking about cars. Like, it took me a little bit, but that was quite an introduction.
Hannah, I have to tell you, I had no idea that Bert was into cars, and they started talking, and I'm like,
Yep.
okay, I know where my mind is going, but they've got to be talking about cars.
Yep. That's a good thing you had that. Otherwise, you've been like, why are they talking about this in front of children?
Honestly, I thought Bert was just trying to be polite.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was like, oh, they brought that up. Okay. The cars, then they were talking about cars, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Cullen, what was your take?
I thought the dinner scene was funny. It was like it could have had more tension, but it was entertaining, and it was mainly just like when they're talking about teenage lovemaking, just how awkward it was.
Why was that their segue into, okay, you guys are going to pretend to live together? Like, that's not the same thing as living together.
No.
So
Not even close.
I just like, why? Like, and I think he said it like 3 times. I bet you in the script it was only there once, and Jeff Goldblum's like, no, I need to say it 3 times.
He mentions Viennetta, which they're bringing back. He's like, oh, Viennetta's discontinued because he was going to have that as dessert. And I'm like, so no dessert? Let's just commence with the teenage lovemaking. And we just cut to Finn and Rachel being like,
horrified.
We want to die right now.
That actually was hilarious. Their reactions, when all of their parents were talking about it, was funny.
It was good. It was spot on. Gotta say.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I packed you a night bag and
your toothbrush and your jammies are in it.
Thanks, Mom. Like, that's what she should have said.
And then she had to specifically say a t-shirt and boxers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh. Oh, Carol. We love her.
She's good.
And so my next note is Finn has to poop. That's really the question.
Yeah.
There. So Rachel and Finn are getting ready for bed, and Rachel has a rigorous night routine. He's like, oh, you're going to use the bathroom first, and she's using it. And then he's like some point in her, she describes her routine. Everything's red and like intense.
It's stupid. Nobody has a red bathroom. The only reason it's red is because it's a Valentine's Day episode.
Okay, I found it very interesting that she had to find a cute pair of pajamas to put on.
Right.
The second time I watched it, I'm like, she really is looking for pajamas.
And they're hanging up in her closet.
Right.
Who does that?
No,
they're not even folded. They're just in this little dresser thing.
Even true confession, I have part of my pajamas on now.
Same. I wore these last night.
You know what? You guys can't see me, so I mean, you can't see that part of me. Sorry.
She thought she was invisible this whole time. We've got bad news.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, sorry.
So Finn is like, hey, can I use the bathroom? It was a big meal. And she's like, no, you can't do that here. And he's like, well, where am I supposed to do it? And he's like, at your house.
She couldn't even say like, oh, my parents' bathroom is down the hall. Like, it was literally like, you can't do that in my house. That was bananas.
I don't understand, like, are we just supposed to assume that Rachel doesn't poop? I don't get it.
No, everybody poops, Alyssa.
I know that. That's why I'm thinking.
Thank you, Hannah, for explaining it to her.
I think it's that like early relationship, like you want to keep that mystery type of thing, but Rachel's taking it to a whole new level. Like Finn is not even fazed by that, and at that point, should kind of be like, oh, okay, we're at this new stage, and she's like, no. We are never going to be at that stage.
Yeah,
because it literally goes into like
New York.
Yeah, and it probably like one bathroom apartment that probably isn't any bigger than my closet, and you're gonna have to poop, you know. So it's bananas.
I liked his response. I'll just go on next by you. It's fine.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if you're there. It's fine. She's like, no.
Yeah,
not my nice pajamas.
Yeah, and she's like, we'll be on different schedules in New York. So she thinks that even when they're married, she won't have to deal with him pooping.
That
like
true.
And you can't just be on a schedule. Like sometimes it just has to happen.
Once you get married, no. I'm the only married person here. So once you get married, you can schedule yourself. So you're on different schedules.
So I was about to ask something really personal. I'm not even going there.
Okay. You guys know me, right? No.
Yeah, it's just like and this is when we see the dads who are downstairs and they're like, even though they said, we're not going to listen in, they're listening in and they cheers because they're like, yes, they're fighting.
Yes, they have 2 champagne glasses. They clink them together.
My question is, do they hear what they're saying? Like, do they know it's about, like, Rachel's not letting him poop? Like, that's a part of the conversation I want to see is like, oh, that's right. She has a thing about pooping. That's right. They're not going to be able to handle this. Cheers.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they cannot hear their conversation.
They probably have really high
It would have been funny, though. That would have been great.
Right?
So when you guys reboot Glee, think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's going in there.
Yeah. Well, because he's like, do you think I'm just going to be waiting around all day? And she's like, no. And then he's like,
oh, that's right. She basically insinuates that he's not going to amount to anything. Like, he's not going to have a job and he's not going to go to school and, like, basically just going to lay around all day in the apartment. Which I really hope that this makes me feel like Rachel has no idea what it would be like to pay for an apartment in New York City while going to school.
Maybe we'll find out.
Oh boy.
Are they graduating this year?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe her dads are going to pay for her apartment.
I don't see that happening, not based on this episode.
Yeah,
that's true.
Although I could see them paying for her apartment if she was still single. But if she gets married, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I could even see them being like, yeah, we'll definitely pay for your apartment. And they give her like 1 month's rent. And they're like, we helped. And then she's like, they're like, we did what we said we were going to do. You have to learn it the hard way.
Amen.
Yeah, they're talking about how they like Finn, but she's not ready to get married. She's a little girl with big dreams, and she'll see that. And so then we get an off-camera resolution to this argument.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're spooning, and I'm like, what happened?
He pooped.
He
Took
pooped.
care of all of it.
Yeah, because he left the room and he probably found a bathroom and he had like a thinking poop and was like, you know what? It's not worth fighting over.
Yep.
I did my business. I'm okay now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like, so glad we kissed and made up. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm glad this conflict was just resolved off screen.
I don't know how that could be resolved. Like,
it can be resolved, but not usually that easily.
yeah, especially if she's like insinuating that she doesn't know if he's gonna do anything in New York. Like, she doesn't seem to have high hopes. Oh,
well,
boy.
she threw her brush. It's a big thing.
True.
Yeah.
She loves her hairbrush.
She loves a lot of like stuff.
Oh yeah, like quickly, her routine is
Insane.
It would take at least an hour because she takes a shower, but then outside the shower, she conditions her hair, which I thought was strange. She dumps her face into ice water.
Do you guys do that? Is that a thing?
She said it was Betty Davis or someone from like way back
she
when.
Did say somebody. I don't remember, and I watched it twice. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, and I was like, that seems painful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even like I know there are long skincare routines. Like,
Right.
Korean skincare is a big thing, and it usually takes a while, and it's expensive. But like,
So who showers twice a day? I mean, okay, so I showered twice a day when my facility had COVID and I worked directly with COVID patients. I would shower in the morning, get done with work, go home and shower. I get that. The world's a dirty place when you're working with COVID patients, but who normally does that?
I guess it depends on what you're doing that day, but it's
Rachel?
not my normal routine.
Yeah, if she thinks Lima, Ohio is a dirty place, wait till she gets to New York City. That is also a dirty place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's going to
So
be showering every 10 minutes.
Yep.
She's never gonna leave the bathroom. Not with that routine.
Oh.
And so they're like, oh, I'm glad we made up. Let's go to bed. They're like, oh, it's 7:15. And they're like, let's go to Sugar's party, which we'll talk about later. And they go downstairs and Rachel's dads are like, oh, is everything okay? I heard some squabbling. And they're like, yeah, no, this was really good. This really helped a lot. And we just want to be with our friends.
And he makes a point to say, Finn does, that, yeah, I'm probably just going to go home after this.
Yeah.
Like he's going to drop her off and then go home.
Question. If it's 7:15 by the time they're spooning in bed, what time were they eating dinner?
Great question. Because that skincare routine, the whole thing took at least minimum 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Were they eating at like 4?
Exactly. That's what I want to know.
Because also there was the dinner theater show before actual dinner.
Yeah, like they spent the entire afternoon together.
That sounds horrible.
Yes, it does.
Not if you're their parents.
True.
Thank you very much.
Well, like, I could spend an entire afternoon with you, but I don't know if I want to mix you with whoever my potential, I don't know, in-laws would be an entire afternoon. The first time that you meet, probably not a great idea.
No, but they already knew each other.
Yeah, I think they had
because he said Carol and
Bert told him.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Bert told him.
So they must have met at least once before, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Because they had to plan the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine Carol and Bert if her dads had made up this plan and not informed them?
Yeah, playing catch up, being like, oh yeah, we totally support this.
What?
Wait, so are Carol and Bert in on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she packed a bag for Finn.
Yeah, his toothbrush and his jammies.
Oh, right, but like, it never shows them being specifically like, I hope our plan works.
Right.
That's like
Yeah.
a meat screen, right?
I could just see Carol just being like, oh, okay, I guess Finn's gonna stay the night.
Yeah, it would have made more sense if like we saw the parents see or the dads seeing them out as they left, and we'll be like, we'll call you.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys reboot it, there you go.
Yes.
We're gonna make it make sense.
Champagne glasses clinking with the dads, be like all 4 of them together.
Yeah.
Like
Gotcha.
celebrating their success.
So that's the end of the Finchel storyline. Let's talk about Sugar and her.
She's in this episode.
She's back.
Big
She's
way.
there.
Yeah.
She has 2 potential ships. We have Sardi or
Sorry.
What? Okay. What?
Sugar and Artie.
No, Shardy. Shardy or Shory.
Sorry.
Or Arger and Rorger.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that I know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, Gleeboot will do that to you. You suddenly know what a ship name is. And you're like, what? And
So Will at the beginning of the episode is like, hey, we need to raise money to get for costumes and hairspray.
Like hairspray?
yeah, they like to
A
do.
week before?
They do so many things right before it's. But the hairspray
I've
thing.
heard you talk about it, Hannah. And I remember thinking as I watched it, oh, this is what Hannah means.
Yes.
They should
And-
already have this money and their outfits.
Exactly. Like especially the outfits, because you have to get them tailored because you got a lot of different sizes and shapes. But the hairspray thing, I'm thinking they're definitely going for a bump it look again, like a big like bump here and then down. Like you don't need that much hairspray for literally anything else.
No.
It's just so yeah, I think they're going for a bump it style.
That's the comedic part of it.
Yes. It's like costumes, sure, and hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just not something else, just hair. Okay, just hairspray.
Yeah. Sorry.
That sounds like the Cheerios kind of budget. Like, we need this money for dry cleaning the uniforms and hairspray to keep the high ponies.
Yeah. And so he says that they need $250 and sugar is just, and so let's do Valentine's Day telegrams where people can pay $10 and we'll sing them a love song. We'll sing a love song to their significant other. And Tina is like, last time we went caroling, people threw food at us. And Mike is like, and shoes.
Yep.
I remember that episode.
Yay.
And and Sugar just is like, oh, I have that money, and she pulls out her purse and hands him a wad of cash, and he's like, I can't take it, and they're like, take it, Mr. Shoe.
Yeah, Kurt's like, take it.
So he takes it, and Sugar, and everyone claps, and she's like, I love applause, even when I have to buy it.
Ooh. So this is where I wrote, okay, Sugar gives the money. She's being nice, ? And then she goes into the party she's having, and then I'm like, oh, nope, she's still kind of Sugar. Still kind of mean.
Sugar is Sugar.
She's like, what did she say? She's like, I'm having a Valentine's Day party, but no single people allowed because I hate them, essentially.
Yeah, because they're sad and lonely and they don't exist in my world.
Yep.
And Mercedes, like,
who called her on it?
What?
Somebody called her on it, but you're single.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mercedes. Okay.
And she's like, not for long. Yeah, she rented out all of breadsticks for a Valentine's Day party.
I actually thought her dad bought it and then renamed it Sugar Rush. But then I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because that means
it what?
They need it later.
The Sugar Shack, yeah.
Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
Oh, Sugar
yeah,
Shack.
no. That
Sugar Rush.
isn't that a game, a video game?
That's a video game in Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh,
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I actually thought that too, is like, because I remember she said, oh yeah, my dad blah de blah, and I just kind of blocked it out because it's Sugar. But yeah, I kind of thought that too. I was like, did he buy the restaurant? But then it's like, oh no, he just rented it for the time. I don't know, maybe he actually owns it and he can just rent it because he can. Who knows?
Well, he's not mafia.
Right, exactly. At least we know that.
FYI. It's not mafia.
Because we were all wondering that. I don't think we were. But now I am, because she said it.
Yeah.
I was wondering actually if it was like something that happened before, like he really was.
Nope, this is one of those one-offs that Glee does.
So Artie and Rory everyone's talking at lunch, and Puck is talking about taking the entire sorority house to the party, and Tina has the best expression on her face of just like, I'm so sick of this shit. Like,
Yeah.
like,
She's like, really? In front of my salad?
He was talking about taking them to the party.
Yeah, college girls.
Okay, because the only part I heard was that what was his line?
I ripped through them like a sex tornado.
Yep.
That, yeah.
Wow.
And
I missed that totally.
Yeah. Tina's face was about how I was feeling, which was, I am disgusted, gross.
And doesn't Rory, he's like, I love you,
don't have
or
to raise
something.
your hand to just speak.
Is Puck the one with the
Yes.
mohawk?
Yes.
Thank you. I did not, twice I watched it and I'm like, who is this person?
He's an abomination. Yeah, he's the 40-year-old with a mohawk. Yeah.
Well, that was my other thing, is all these kids look like adult people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, there are just a couple that you would maybe see in high school. The other ones, you're like, that's like a coworker of mine.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's something that I struggle with. Like when I meet actual teens in real life, like I see them and I'm like, what? You look like you're 12. And they're like, I'm 13, actually. This is what an actual 8th and 9th grader looks like. This is what a senior. And I'm like when I went to college and I was like in admissions and I would see kids who were in high school, I'm like, you look like you're in elementary school. What's happening? And it's just like, nope, TV has ruined my brain.
Yep.
Those people are not like children.
Nope.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Acting though. Finn, I think, acts the most like a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has that boy next door look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He really does. I don't know how old he is in real life, but he just has that look. Like
He was probably like 30. I think the guy who plays Puck was the oldest.
Yeah.
But not by much. But yeah, I think Corey Monteith must have been 29, 30 at this point, maybe.
wow.
Yeah.
But he acts very well like a teenager. So despite
He does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He must do that face in the cold water routine.
Yeah. That very young looking skin.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll try that.
I'm not sure if it'll fix damage that's already been done.
Wow. Holy crap. Oh man.
Well, your birthday is coming up, and Good grief. That was a slam.
We do this all the time. Listeners out there, it's fine.
Everything's fine.
So when we moved
It kind of is, yeah. Ask Cullen. He knows how we deal.
Yes.
Yeah. At first I was like, I can't believe she said that to her mother.
Then you're like, wait, that's the rapport. It's fine.
Yeah. Alyssa's friends and David's friends all had to like figure out what we were saying.
So
where were we?
Artie and Rory both want to date Sugar for no discernible reason.
Literally no reason. I think it's because she's actually single.
Yeah.
Because she already told Artie in one episode it would look bad because he's disabled and she's abled.
Yeah.
So
and the world is such a cruel place because that's really what she was worried about.
Yeah. So they're like, who are you taking, Rory? And he's like, Sugar. And then Artie's like, no, I'm taking Sugar. Back off. And he's like, he's like, chicks dig accents. And he's like, no, they don't. No one can understand what you're saying. And then Rory pulls out a 4-leaf clover. And he's like, here's a 4-leaf clover for good luck because you're going to need it.
And then Kurt.
Do you just carry those around? Do you people?
Yes. I was like, what is this scene? Like, I don't think was he wearing green?
He's wearing orange.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think he was wearing green. So, but that's still part of the flag. Wait, or is he which part of Ireland is he from? Is he from that part or the other part?
I think the character is from the Republic, but the actor is from Ireland.
Got it.
We have different flags?
Well, Northern Ireland is part of the UK.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Ireland.
Now you do. You know one thing. There's the northern part, and then there's the rest of it, and the rest of it has one flag, and the northern part has a different flag.
Well, why is it still called Ireland?
It has to. Oh God.
It's because of.
It's a lot of history. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I had to look up if he was actually Irish, and I did. I was like, he like doesn't move his lips. How can he talk like that?
That's so funny you mentioned that, because I think he got notes like that when he was on the Glee project. He was one of those contestants who competed to get on the show. And I think he got notes like that.
I know what you're talking about. I read it a couple times, and Joe was also one of those people.
Yes.
But I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Gotten that far then in the Gleeboot.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Oh, okay.
We do a podcast episode on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to catch up.
But yeah, so I also, I keep wanting to root for him, but I'm just so over him. I feel really bad because I wanted him to be good, and then they're just like randomly use him for really dumb things.
Yeah, he just sort of like, obviously, I kind of wanted him to win over Artie with the whole sugar thing. But even that, with like the whole storyline is really demeaning for everyone in it.
Yeah, no one is a winner.
No.
Especially the audience.
Was not, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
But Rory in general, like, I want to see more of him in an actual intelligent aspect of like what it is like to be a transfer student.
Right.
And we don't get any of that ever. So it's just boring now.
And it's offensive that Glee forced another love triangle upon us. Like, really? In this economy, please don't do that.
So Tina and Mike sing LOVE and dance.
That was so cute.
It was cute. I'm glad Mike gets to actually sing now. Like, before, he either sang really terribly or didn't sing at all. Yeah. And he actually had like a number, and he sounds good.
Yeah, he has like a nice voice.
It's a nice song.
Yeah, I like the cover of it a lot, actually. It's different from the original, like just enough where it's like, oh, this is cool, but it's still recognizable, unlike that Anything Goes song.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I mean, have we talked about what their...
Oh, their assignment.
Yeah, their assignment.
They were supposed to sing the greatest love songs.
Okay, Artie failed. I mean, we'll get to that, but he failed.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. That was a failure.
It's a bop, but it's not the greatest love song. All right.
Fair.
There are a ton of love songs. I want to say love songs are probably the most popular type of song for people to write. So there's a lot to choose from. And I'm pretty sure that he chose poorly.
Yeah.
But he chose in his wheelhouse. I'll give him that. I didn't even notice the joke. That wasn't even a joke, but you know.
Good.
Both my mom and I were...
I saw you both recognize it, and I went, oh, I said wheelhouse. And it's funny because he's in a... Anyway... He chose, I think I'm getting ahead of us, but he chose like an R&B song, and like that's what he does a lot. He does that really well. But yeah.
So while they're singing LOVE, it shows Rory and Artie trying to one-up each other as they give Sugar presents, and she just takes it all. And eventually it ends with Rory getting Sugar a real puppy.
Yeah.
Is irresponsible behavior. PSA.
Do not ever get anyone, whether it be a friend, a family member, a loved one, your significant other, a pet as a gift. That is a big responsibility. Don't do that.
Unless it's your child and you're going to be responsible for that pet.
Yeah. And also another PSA, if you're dating Sugar, don't do that. Like,
and at school?
Yeah, and also he brought it to school in a box. Also, don't put an animal in a tiny box if it's not meant to be in like a cage, like a glass cage or something. Like, don't just put a puppy in a box. That's rude to the puppy. It's disrespectful. All right, end of PSA. I'm Hannah Sylvester, and I support this message.
So then Artie sings "Let Me Love You" by Mario.
And this is the R&B song that we were talking about.
It's in his wheelhouse, yes.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I think he does well, but it's not. He failed at the assignment. He deserves an F for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not one of the greatest love songs ever.
It wins over Sugar, though.
Yeah.
Yes, and she says, "Wheel me to class."
And she hopped on him.
Yes.
Pretty aggressively.
Yes, and I was like,
He's gonna have a bruise.
Yeah. I wonder if Artie himself would not have felt that, but I'm sure the actor did.
Yeah. That couldn't feel good. Like, even like Sugar's a small person, but like she hopped. Like she had some jump to her.
Yeah, there was some aerial maneuvering there.
So then Rory comes out saying, well, I tried to apply for a green card, extend my student visa to do my junior year at McKinley, but it looks like I'll be sent back home. And I really miss my family, but you guys have become like my second family. And this song is for you. And he sings Home.
Is that a love song?
No,
I didn't think so. So that's 2 Fs for the class.
Yep.
I really like the cover, though.
Yeah, he
did a great job with it.
Very well, yeah.
He did.
I didn't fast forward through it, but I definitely was Googling during it. Because he just sat there and he just stood there and sang, right?
Yeah, like he always does.
But I was listening. It is nice, but I was like, I cannot visually pay attention to this. So my eyes
He
just went.
still did not move his lips. Even while he was singing.
Yeah.
At that point, I Googled, is he really Irish?
Or is he closing his mouth so that he can make the accent happen?
He is, in fact, really Irish.
Yes. Yeah, so then after the song, Sugar is like, I feel even worse for you than I do for Artie. Will you be my
That's a great reason to go out with someone.
Yeah, really. Like, I pity you more. It's also like,
I took
it
notes
feels.
that made it to my notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it feels also like demeaning to herself too. Like, if that's how she values herself, is like, I'm gonna love because I pity people. Like, that's not good either.
No. Yeah. So then she has her party at Breadsticks, and they're dancing, and she's like, I'm gonna miss you so much when you get deported. And he's like, what? And she's like, when you have to go back to Ireland. And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. Let's just focus on now. And she's like, maybe my dad could buy Ireland.
Who's not in the mafia.
He's not,
So he was like, definitely lying, right? Because I was on board with the whole his visa not getting renewed until this conversation happened. And then I was like, oh, he lied.
Yeah.
Oh, he lied.
It's a bit confusing. I'm pretty sure he's lying, but I don't remember anything after this. So
My guess is they wrote it in so that they can make a decision whether he will be on next season.
that's a really, really good theory.
Yeah.
And I'm not even in the industry. Thank you very much.
Boom. That's a smart audience member.
See how much y'all teach me?
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, because Sugar at the party is like my dad, who's definitely not in the mafia, and we're all like, he's definitely in the mafia.
He's in the mafia.
And she gives everyone like multiple $200 gift cards.
Well, like,
Yeah.
I want to go to one of her parties.
Right?
I've never been invited to one of her parties.
I know, me either.
The crime.
And you know what? If we get invited, Alyssa, you can bring Sam, and then your mom can hang out with him too. You know, you guys just all get to know each other.
You're gonna say you can bring your mom. You're like, no, you can bring Sam.
Yeah, you can bring Sam. You're gonna be invited.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Fantastic. We can.
I mean, technically you're married, so
You're not single.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're
there you
saying
go.
I need to bring Dad? I don't know if he'll enjoy it.
Well, all I have to do is say that he's flying.
That's true.
Yeah. There you go.
That's yep. So today, when I told him I was watching it again, he goes, "Wow, you're really serious about this, aren't you?" It's like, well, I want to like be informed when I'm on this podcast. He's like, "Yeah, you're really committed."
Yeah.
Did he watch it with you the first time?
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have him watch it with you.
No, you suggested it and I decided not.
You're like, I'm gonna save him from this.
No. I'm like, I don't want to hear his comments.
I'm gonna save myself from this.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, yes. I love him. God bless him. He's an amazing man. But we've been married a long time.
Yeah, so that's the end of the sugar storyline. Let's talk about the God Squad.
Yes, let's talk about the God Squad. This is the first time we've ever seen them.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Because there was
A celibacy club.
And that sort of was the Christian club and the celibacy club together. But then they came up with God Squad. So this is our first introduction to them.
All right. So Mercedes is like, our meeting of the God Squad is in session. Let's welcome back Quinn, because it's Mercedes, Sam, Quinn, and a new character from the Glee project, Joe.
Winner 3 of 4. We still haven't seen the 4th one yet.
So Samuel is here as Joe, and
Joe Hart.
Yes. So I think he's what the episode is named after, right? Even though it's Valentine's Day. Or is
maybe?
it?
It's a combo.
Yeah, maybe it's the
Okay.
combination. I actually thought they were going to be singing a song by the band Heart from the 80s. That did not happen, and I was very disappointed. They sang an 80s song, but not from Heart. Sang a couple 80s songs, I think. Yeah. But Joe Hart, he still has dreads. They call him Teen Jesus like 4 times, and I laughed every time.
The first thing that they said, though, was tarantula head.
Yes, which is equally as nice and complimentary. Can I just say it? He does not fit in at this setting. Like, just looking at him, I'm like, he does not look like he should be in high school.
I loved him.
You did?
Oh my goodness.
Hot take. Because I think this could be because of the Glee project stuff, but I was just like, I'm not about it.
Oh, I'm definitely sure it's probably because of the Glee project.
See, and I don't know anything about the Glee project stuff. And
So
yeah.
it's a reality TV show to determine who is going to guest star on Glee.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
You'll hear all about it when you get to that episode.
Yes, exactly. But
Okay.
Yeah.
there was Ryan Murphy was on the show, and he actually legitimately said this was the part that he wanted Samuel to play.
Yes.
It's like exactly that part. Like, they didn't change anything. I was expecting maybe they would put a little more thought into it, but it was
Glee putting thought into Glee?
Oh,
Alyssa, you know better.
I always give them the benefit of the doubt. And
Yeah.
they're disappointed.
That's true. I mean, yeah.
This was named after every book of the Bible.
He named his dreads? I totally missed that.
Oh my
I
God.
caught it the second time through. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
So he has some really weird names then. Like, I mean, there's like, you know, Isaiah and, you know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. But then he's also got like Job. He's got Genesis, Exodus,
Malachi.
Revelation is here in the front because it's near. Like, I was like thinking, like, he's got some weird.
Exodus, way in the back.
Psalms 1. You know, he's Samuel. He has Samuel in there a couple times at least. That's a good question. Does he have Samuel 1 and 2?
Chronicles 1, Chronicles 2.
I need
Kings 1 and
answers.
And he used to be homeschooled, so I guess I'm supposed to relate to him.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, do you feel represented, Cullen?
Well, he does say that he's used to doing school barefoot, and I do get that.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite line was, I realized my mom was my best friend, so I wanted to see the world or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, wait a minute.
I think it would have made more sense if he was like, my mom was my only friend. And then we could have been like, oh, okay, I get it. Yes, you need to branch out.
Yeah.
I like best friend.
Yeah, so they decide they're going to sing, the God Squad is going to sing Valentine's for people because Joe plays guitar and sings, and so does Sam and Quinn and Mercedes. So they're going to sing to people for Valentine's Day if they pay them $10.
Is that the entirety? It's just the 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it is, but not when they sing.
No.
Exactly.
But it's Joe, Sam, Mercedes, and
Quinn.
And Sam points out that Shane, her boyfriend, isn't in the God Squad. And he also is the one who has the idea to use the funds to adopt a highway and a couple other charitable organizations. So then they are, let's see, where am I? Yeah. So meanwhile, Brittany makes a playlist for Santana. But she was going to make a CD, but the farthest she got without any help was a playlist on her laptop.
I thought that was funny.
It was so good.
Because I could relate.
It's so cute because like now I think about it, I'm like, oh, sharing a playlist like that, there's so many other ways besides just burning a CD or whatever. But like back then, like Brittany literally had burning a CD or doing a zip drive, and I'm like, yeah, no, that she wouldn't be able to do that. So Santana's like, your computer? And she's like, no, I made a playlist. And then she shows her like the cover of the playlist is like a PowerPoint. It was so cute. I loved it so much.
It was pretty cute.
Yeah, and then they're about to kiss, but Figgins interrupts them and is like, teen lesbians.
No. He says, teen lesbians? That's in the middle of the hallway. Like, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate teacher-student behavior.
And he's the principal.
Exactly. But you know what? We know that he is the worst principal ever. But like, that was like another level of that.
For all listeners out there, my mom is dying.
She is still laughing. Did you like my impression?
Yes, I did. I found more humor the second time around than the first time. First time I'm like, wait, what? Because y'all have to remember, I went to high school in the 80s.
Okay.
So any public display of affection, was called out.
Right.
And there was none of that type of and I was just like, and the way he said it, just the second time around, I was more able to focus on what actually was happening and not trying to figure out who was who. I was just like, oh my gosh, who is this man?
Yeah, especially when you don't know he's the principal. This is your first time meeting him. You're like, this random person's just screaming teen lesbian.
And the way he said it, it was like, seriously?
He's a very underrated character because of those, like, we often talk about like his small moments that he has, even when he's horrible. Like, he has, like, you know, rapper K $ha singing Tick and Also Talk. Like, he has some really good lines and he delivers them really well. That actor does.
Yes.
But he's still the worst principal in the world.
He is.
Yeah.
He was like my LPP for the first 5 episodes or something.
At least.
So
At
now,
least.
is he not supposed to be that way, though? I mean, that's his character.
That's his character.
Right.
Yeah. He's never
an
been
ass.
trained. Yes. He doesn't have a background in education. I think they just hired him because they're like, we need an authoritative figure. He was the only one who applied. They're like, yeah.
Right. Exactly. So.
I mean, that's how Shu got his job, we learned last week.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
The school's falling apart. And so he's like, we got a complaint about your public displays of affection at 12:16 last Tuesday or something. And Satana's like, well, what about that horrendous multi-minute long display that went on at 12:17? And we see Rachel and Finn leaning into each other and just
They get their tongues ready. That was the worst part. Like, they got their tongues ready and on like the single shots. I was like,
Was it like a thing?
I
Does it
don't remember.
happen with young people? I mean,
I don't remember
that's how
there being
I
a lot
can-
of PDA at all in high school. And like, I don't think that's how I kiss. I don't. Is that?
No.
I don't.
Oh.
I don't do that. I don't know. Obviously, you know, they're playing it for the humor and be like, oh yeah, this is way more gross apparently, but like it like is like if they're leading with tongues, like yes, that needs to be stopped.
So again, is this show for adults or is it for children?
I
Well,
don't think we'll ever know.
now we're like, so the first season was what, for high schoolers, right?
High schoolers who want to learn more about Shu's boring and terrible life.
Well, but like the people who originally watched it are now older.
Right. I think it was marketed to teenagers and possibly their parents as like it's something a bit more edgy that you can actually watch in
It's a bit
certain
more
families.
edgy, yeah.
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 So
Wait, when was it out? It was Alyssa's
this was
in the 90s?
2012.
Yeah.
No, not the 90s.
Wait, there were only 6 seasons, right?
yeah.
Yes. The first season came out 2000.
So this episode came out in 2012.
Okay, so it started in 2010.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not familiar with it because neither of my children really wanted to watch it. Had they said, wow, Mom, I'm watching Glee, I would sit down and watch it and say, no, you're not.
No, not anymore.
Guess not.
So I don't know if I ever talked about this. I may have talked about it when Kyle was on the show last season. I think he was on the show. But my friend Kyle, who introduced me, you know, he was my Glee father, so to speak. But I remember going to his house and watching it with him and his mom and dad and his like couple of his siblings and then other friends from school and their parents who were all like friends. So there would be like a little group of us who would watch it every once in a while together. Like it was kind of like a family show. So yeah, it's really strange. Like I don't know who it's actually for. It's for everybody and also nobody.
Well, it's not, I wouldn't consider it a family show, but I'm old.
Yeah, my mom would watch it and then sometimes be like, what is this garbage? And change the channel.
See, we had one TV. It would be not on it. Nope.
Right.
What is this garbage? Sorry.
You would walk by and hear them talking about that lube conversation. You'd be like, no, I don't care if they're talking about cars. That is an innuendo.
You know what the thing is? They weren't talking about cars. That's the thing. They weren't.
I mean, I guess that's true.
They said they were, but technically they weren't.
No. There was an agenda.
Yes.
So, okay. Onward.
So Santana is like, there's such a double standard here, and she storms out. And we don't really get to see what Brittany's perspective is.
Right.
Yeah. So then the God Squad finds Rachel and Santana because Santana's like, I agree, Rachel, you should be able to get married. You should be able to be unhappy with Finn for your whole life. And then the God Squad is like, are you Rachel Berry? And she's like, yes, because it's Mercedes asking her. So she's like, obviously. And they're like, this is a song from Finn Hudson. And they sing Stereo Hearts. And we get someone rapping who's not Artie.
Yes, finally.
I don't mind this cover. It's pretty close to the original, and it's still really catchy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice
Sam, right?
Yes, Sam raps. So a couple things. They're outside. They're outdoor campus, right? It's February in Northwest Ohio. Yep. Yes, they're wearing jackets. Santana's wearing her uniform with a tiny jacket. No, that's my first thing. My next thing is while they're singing to her, someone, I think Sam, gives her the rose. It's like, I think it's a chocolate rose, right?
She takes it.
She sniffs it
from someone. Yes.
She tries to sniff it, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, yeah, that's no.
He just is like climbing all over the lunch tables and randomly steals a chocolate rose from some girl.
And if Rachel believes the world is that dirty, she would have literally been like, ugh, and threw it down. Like,
that's true.
And they have a choir to back them up.
Yes.
I lost my mind. I was like, why do they just keep letting these random adults on the campus? Why?
And they don't even have name tags.
They don't have name tags. It just doesn't make any sense.
People show up in choir robes and they're like, oh, the Glee Club again? Yeah, come on.
Exactly.
But there's more. No one is looking. It's not like everyone is looking at them like, what are you doing?
They don't need
They're all just eating lunch.
Yeah, like no one even notices that there's a choir. Like, this is a song that doesn't need a choir. I also don't think it makes sense to have a choir in this song.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they there? Because Mercedes is like, I get volunteers from my church. I'm like, great. Maybe for the song Hallelujah, but not this.
Well, and did anyone else find it odd that Joe really didn't know any other songs but Christian songs?
They're not Christian songs.
Right?
Interesting.
He basically said, and then there was one line in this. What was it? Like, I'm going to pray that.
I always pray you'll never leave me behind.
Yes. And I was like, is that what makes this a Christian song? And then he proceeded to sing other songs that aren't Christian songs and don't even have a line referring to anything that might be considered Christian.
I was like, oh, they're going to sing Christian songs. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, and also the fact that like Sam doesn't know any of these people. He literally just transferred, and all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, I'll sing to these random people."
You mean Joe?
Joe.
Yeah. Oh, did I say Sam? Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe. Like he literally just got there, and all of a sudden he's like singing romantic songs to random people. Like, I gotta give it to him. He's pretty brave, but also it's like, it's a bit weird.
At least he wasn't going around barefoot in February.
He was still wearing sandals though.
He was.
But I did that because I was stupid. But I wore flip-flops and toe socks in middle school. And I think also into high school because I wanted to wear, because I didn't like shoes on my feet. I didn't like the constriction. But also like it's really cold in Northeast Ohio. So I would wear toe socks and sandals. And then now looking back, I'm like, my mother is a great person for letting me be me, but also I really wish she would have stopped me from going out of the house looking like that. But you know what? She let me learn my own lesson, and I appreciate that.
Didn't the toe socks bother your toes?
No. I mean, the thing is, like, it didn't even really make them that warm. It was just like just barely protecting me from frostbite.
Yeah. True.
I had like striped ones, and like I would wear jeans. I would literally wear hoodies, jeans, my sandals, and my toe socks like every day to high school. And
do you have pictures? I want to see pictures.
I actually might. I'll have to dig, and I'll send you some.
Yes. Send me some. Email me some because I would like to see it. I love people who like wear socks that make them feel at home.
Yeah.
You know, okay with themselves. I can't wear toe socks. I can't have things between my toes.
Oh, okay.
A sandal, yes, but
socks.
Mm-mm.
I have one pair now, but I don't really wear them. Now I prefer just like fuzzy socks. It's like mittens for your feet. Shout out to Bernie Sanders memes. Look, guys, we did it. We did the meme. Anyway.
So Santana is like, you guys are a Christian group, right? I want you to sing a song to my girlfriend, and not just my girl who's a friend, but my girlfriend. And we get a look of Joe being like, I don't know how I feel about that. He doesn't say that, but he just makes a face. And the music goes like, ooh.
Right. Yeah. That's the thinking face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the whole conversation between all of them.
Oh, they're like, are we
Simon?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Let's talk about this because I think about this a lot.
The Simon conversation.
Mercedes is like, because Joe's like, I don't know if I know any gay people. And Quinn's like, oh, you must. And Mercedes is like, 1 in every 10 people is gay, which means one of the 12 apostles could have been gay. My guess is Simon, because it's gay.
That's the gayest name of them all.
And then Quinn is like, Jesus didn't say anything about gay people in the Bible. That's a fact. And Sam is like, maybe he just didn't want to hurt Simon's feelings. And they were reading in that church today, they were reading about Simon, and that's all I could think of.
They were. I'm there because I watched it before I went to Mass last night.
Oh my gosh.
Simon.
That's so funny. So this conversation and then the Cherish mashup later are the only 2 things I remember from this episode. And so when the Simon conversation was happening, I was like, oh my God, it was this episode? Oh, I think about that a lot.
I also like the line where he said, well, someone asked, well, how do you feel about singing to gay people? And he's like, we're in the Glee Club. We sing to gay people all the time. I was just like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah. So Mercedes is like, yeah, I know we're all comfortable. I just don't want to do anything that makes someone uncomfortable. And they kind of look to Joe. And the scene ends. And we get some Sam Sadie's content. Sam gives Mercedes a statue of St. Valentine. Well, actually, it's a statue of the 3 wise men that he planned to look like St. Valentine. Which I was like, that's very crafty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gift took time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Creative.
Yeah. And she's like, I told Shane about us, and like he's like, oh, that means you're not together anymore and we can be together. And she's like, I just feel awful for what I did. I can't believe I'm a person who did that. I cheated. I hurt him.
Yeah, because she said, like, when I told him, he cried, and she basically was like, I don't think we can be together because when we're together now, that's what I'm going to think about, how I hurt him. which was such a mature thing to say when we have all that like Finchel content, that Rachel and Finn stuff, and this is happening. I'm like, wow, this is so mature and well thought out. My goodness.
I bet she knows that Sam poops.
She does. And you know, she's like, I respect it.
Yeah.
She knows that Sam poops.
And so she sings I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston. And she sings it in the choir room, and we also get shots of her in like a beautiful red dress. She's singing it just to Sam. And it's a great cover. She has an amazing voice. And afterwards, Sam leaves the room kind of emotional.
And during the song, don't we get like a little scene of her telling Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the only time we see Shane. I'm like, who the hell is Shane?
Yep.
Yeah. He does not have a lot of anything. He doesn't know.
Okay.
I think we've seen him in the context of being with Mercedes maybe 3 times over the entire season they've actually been together. So
okay.
Yeah.
Does he go to that school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's not in Glee Club?
No.
He's
no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Such a pretty song. Is that the one they sing in Ghost?
No.
No.
Where is it from?
Bodyguard.
Yeah, Bodyguard.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Ghost. Speaking of Ghost and Valentine's Day, I actually went to see Ghost at this like little local theater that does like a dinner and a show kind of thing. And that's where Lyle and I went for Valentine's Day last year.
Aww.
Oh, that's nice.
That's cute.
But now there's the pandemic and we can't go to the movie theater, especially one that small.
Yeah.
There will be 3 people there.
Yeah, like right like this, and then you don't get to eat because it's too small of a room.
No.
So.
Take it out to your cars.
Ticket. Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. Drive-in movies.
Oh yeah.
I miss going to those. We used to do it all the time in the summer, and now they have them around here all the time because I'm in Florida. So like, there's basically weather for it all the time.
Try to one. Have you gone?
You're right. I should. I haven't. That's
Why
the thing.
not?
Is that like, I don't know. It's like I don't even go to the beach anymore. I used to go to the beach. Like you could still go to the beach social distance. It's really easy. I just don't. That's what happens when you live in Florida. You just don't do the thing. All right, I'm going. Bye.
Email me and tell me you're at the beach and I'm in
I will.
Sub-freezing weather up here.
I'll send you my toe socks images if I can find them, and I will let you know when I go to the beach.
Thank you. And y'all in LA can just go to the beach and wear your toe socks whenever.
Yeah, take a whole day trip, 4 hours there, 4 hours back, spend 20 minutes at the beach.
With toe socks.
It's not that long to the beach, Hannah.
How long does it take you guys to get there?
Well, it depends on the traffic, of course.
Yeah.
Typically would take like an hour.
Yeah.
In
More to find parking.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And more if there's traffic.
You know, that is so sad. So sad.
Yeah.
Would it be quicker to walk?
No. No.
Just a thought.
Might be quicker to bike.
There you go.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't have a bike, so.
Okay. Onward.
So she sings I Will Always Love You. And then at the Valentine's Day party, Joe and the God Squad are brought on, and Joe's like, I thought about this and I prayed about it, and love is love, so I'm going to sing a song to Santana and Brittany. And they sing a mashup of Cherish by Madonna and by, my notes are so illegible. Madonna, Can't read
I
it.
don't remember who it is.
Bunch of squiggles.
There was
It's
a
all right.
on the page.
The Association. That's what it says. I didn't know that, but yeah, I knew the other one was Madonna.
So I feel need to see.
We can see.
Let me see. What are these your notes? Oh, I see. Wait, these are the notes you go off of every week?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, those are like so minimal.
I know, but
Wow.
he does a really good job.
Yeah,
Keeping
I am
y'all
like
on
even more
track.
impressed.
I'm actually very impressed with Cullen and his ability to keep you two on track.
Because I
And your
can't do
guest.
it. Yeah.
I looked it up. I don't know. It's Madonna and somebody. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Cullen. I thought like you had like way more into. You're just like
Wait,
I
who
like
is
it.
it? What is it?
the
Madonna
Association.
No, what song?
Cherish.
Cherish. They're both called Cherish.
Yeah.
I
Sorry. I pushed the wrong button.
I love this mashup. I actually remember it being on the album and I would listen to it. It's on my Glee songs I actually like playlist. I like it. I think it's pretty fire, actually.
I didn't realize it was a mashup, like at all. It sounds really good together. It's probably why I didn't realize it.
So it's well done, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't tell me who it's by.
It's by the Association. I'm telling you.
What is that? The Association.
It's like the Illuminati. I don't know.
You know.
It's
my
the
husband
Illuminati's
has been
musical group.
underneath
He's been underneath what?
The Denver airport.
Yeah.
Is that?
Conspiracy, guys.
Yeah.
My dad
Whoa.
went under the Denver airport.
Whoa.
Is there anything in that bottle of beer? Did you
No.
get another one, or are you just
No,
trying
I
to?
should do it as like a thinking mechanism.
I'm the only one who will call you on it. What?
Oh.
He said that's why it's gone in the first 5 minutes.
It was gone early. That's why I asked.
So yeah, they sing Cherish, and there's only one storyline left, and that is Kurt. So throughout the episode, Kurt keeps getting cards from his secret admirer, and he assumes it's his boyfriend Blaine. And at one point, they're delivered to him by a man in a gorilla suit, which doesn't creep him out at all.
That's where okay, so I have a question about that. But first, we first hear about it in that moment where like he's like, oh, I have this card. It's so romantic. And then the gorilla shows up. Like that's the first time we heard it. And that's like 15 minutes into the episode. That's like long into the episode.
Also,
That was really confusing.
who assumes that a secret admirer is your boyfriend?
I honestly,
He signs secret admirer if you're like in a relationship.
I think maybe he just thought Blaine was being cheeky, and then also like he's the gay kid at school, and so like he probably just doesn't think that like, oh, no one's gonna have like a secret admirer crush on me at school. So I think maybe that's like the logic there.
Yo,
Okay, so where is Blaine?
He got
By a slushy with rock salt.
I'm sorry.
yes.
What?
A slushy.
No,
with
I really
rock-
didn't hear you.
A slushy with rock salt in it was thrown at his face, and so he got damaged his cornea, and he had to have eye surgery.
Yeah, he's the kid
Like
with the eye patch at the end.
Yeah, he took it off. I thought it was just a prop.
well, he has since
Recovered.
he said yes, recovered.
Yeah.
I wanted to say survived.
Well, that too. You never know with a slushy.
Survived and thrived.
So that happened last episode?
A couple episodes ago.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson episode.
So he's been out for that whole time because he was recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
That was on Broadway.
Cullen.
Oh, wait, was that why he was gone?
Yeah, he was doing How to Succeed in Business Without Really
I
Trying.
didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
The illusion is broken. How dare you?
I break the illusion all the time.
That's crazy. He wasn't on that show for very long then, was he? Because he was only gone a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think it was like a limited run, probably.
Right. Interesting. Wow.
Or he sucked. I sent him back to Glee.
They're like, yeah, we wanted to leave you for the rest of the season, but you're not good enough. We have Harry Potter waiting. We want him. Wait, was he first or?
I don't know if Andrew
so
Garfield was before or after Darren Criss.
When did Daniel Radcliffe do it? Was it before? The joke works anyway for people who understand what I'm saying.
And then I met Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I was very
okay.
Like, you know that's not Harry Potter, right?
So he was after then.
Well, Daniel Radcliffe is on the Broadway cast recording.
So he was the originator?
I think so.
For this? Oh,
yeah.
Didn't know that. Well, the joke doesn't land. We're taking that out of the podcast.
Yeah, so then they're at Breadsticks, and Kurt is like, oh, I'm waiting for my secret admirer. And they're like, oh, I think he's already here. And the gorilla shows up, and he like takes his mat. He's like, I think I love you. And Kurt is like, in a note. And Kurt is like, you think you love me? And then he takes his mask off, and it's Karofsky.
This is all very problematic.
This is very problematic in a lot of ways. And I have a lot of questions. Karofsky is, and they kind of talk about it when they recap, is like that guy who bullied him and threatened him at school, Kurt, and then like transferred schools and stuff. So was he the gorilla all along?
Yes.
Did he go to McKinley in the middle of the day when he should have been at school? He then also arrived in the gorilla suit, and there was that kid who went to his school. So that kid would have seen him come in the gorilla suit, take off his head, reveal it's him, take off the gorilla suit, and then sit down and get comfortable. And that guy's literally just sitting there being like, oh my God, I cannot wait to confront this guy. Is that what's happening? Is that the logic here?
Yes.
Yes. Why a gorilla? That's my biggest question.
It's the biggest, like, isn't that the biggest singing telegram thing, is a gorilla?
Is it?
Have you ever seen a flamingo singing telegram? Or
I've never seen a singing telegram.
I always associate them with Elf.
Elf?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's a thinking telegram when he comes into his dad's office. He's like, are you going to think for me? He's like,
he goes,
here now.
You're my dad. And I'm singing.
So, okay. Here's the thing. Whenever I've seen a singing telegram, although I've never received one on TV, they're almost always gorillas.
What?
Only what I watch, but
You can still send singing telegrams.
can you?
Yeah, I literally just Googled it. Oh God. Yeah,
Of
no,
course you
please do
did.
not share my location with this site. Send the best singing telegrams in Tampa, same day bookings. Oh boy. Oh, there's Elvis. There's a giant heart. Oh no, you're right. A pink gorilla, $200. So I guess $10 is really a
Steal.
yeah.
Well, how do you know $10? That's just for the. That's
That's
just
what
for
they said.
school.
Yeah, that's what they said was $10. So that like clearly they're getting a really good deal then. Katy
Wow.
Parody is one of these. Oh God. Gorilla in a tutu? Oh, wow.
What?
See, gorilla is a thing. I don't know why.
You can send grandma, too. Someone dressed up as a grandma.
Oh, we should have made grandma make money. What were we thinking? She would have
Missed opportunity!
Right.
This is a missed opportunity because she's dead.
So going to hell.
Okay, so singing gorillas are a thing, but he never sings. I don't know what's happening with this.
Well, it's just a telegram, I guess.
Yeah,
Just a gorilla with balloons giving notes.
It's
A gorilla
creepy as hell. Okay.
especially if it's Karofsky.
Yes.
Especially if it's Karofsky because of his past.
Yeah.
But if this was someone getting paid for it, sure, that's your job.
I don't know.
But-
Even if it was my husband, if he took off the mask and it was him, it would be creepy.
You'd be like, don't ever do that again.
Well, I don't think the idea of a secret admirer is creepy in and of itself. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't care for that either.
No.
I don't find that romantic.
No, it means someone's watching you and like loving
They're
you.
admiring from afar.
Very
No.
stalkerish.
It just means they like you. It doesn't mean they're stalking you. That's a stalker.
Today on Gleeboot, we discussed the difference between a secret admirer and a stalker. Today's guest, Beth Swearingen.
There's a line, and stalking is when you cross it.
We will continue this conversation, Alyssa, next family meeting.
Yeah, it is creepy. And then Kurt is like, you just think you love me, but you don't know me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like you as a friend. We had one conversation at a bar, and I'm like, a friend is generous after everything he put him through.
Yeah.
I thought he handled it well.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
He handled it in a very mature manner. Whereas if it was me, I would have been like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. I never want to see
Yeah.
you or your gorilla mask ever again.
Maybe Kurt also understands this angle because he loves a good lurk,
Oh,
he
that's
loves
true.
a good crush. So I think maybe he understands like, I should be gentle. But yeah, I think
Yes, yeah.
I do think that he's right to be like, you don't really know me. You really have only, just bullied me. And, because I've sort of helped you and given you advice, he's definitely taken that into a sort of infatuation. And it's good that Kurt pointed that out, but it does make me worry how like Karofsky's gonna handle it. Like, let alone from like him running into someone from school. Like that whole conversation was like, oh God, like how is Karofsky gonna handle this?
Yeah, when he runs into the guy from school, he's like, what are you doing, hanging out for Valentine's Day? And Kurt's like, oh, we just ran into each other. And the guy's like, yeah, that's what it looks like. Because he saw him.
Because I literally just saw you take off a gorilla suit. I saw the big reveal. You had flowers.
Honestly,
Yeah.
though, like, I thought Karofsky had changed, and then not his friend, but the guy from his school was like, hey, what are you doing here? And he completely denies any romantic relationship or implication of a relationship.
Well, he says he's not
Yeah.
at school.
Yeah, he's not out at the school. That was at what his. Oh no, he said that in this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was at the bar. Yeah, so. Yeah, it's sad. It's just kind of really sad because
It's depressing.
Karofsky if he's not out at school, he doesn't really have anyone to talk to about what he's going through. So the only person he can really connect with is Kurt. Yeah, so it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then to wrap this storyline up, Blaine appears at the very end with an eye patch, and he rips it off, and he sings Love Shack.
Yes, they called it
great in this scene.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is the first time when people have like said, "Oh, Kurt has a great sense of fashion," or like he looks very dapper. Never believed it until this moment.
right. Yeah. People, as in me, I have said that, and I have been proven wrong so many times. Maybe I was just really holding on to this single outfit. Yeah, so they called it the Sugar Shack probably because they wanted to do Love Shack. A banger. However, not really an appropriate song for children. I know this because my mom told me. One of the lines in the song that Kurt ends up saying, tin roof rusted, which means you got pregnant in the Love Shack. I don't know.
What?
Not really.
What are you talking
Yeah.
That means?
Yeah, apparently that's what my mom told me.
We used to play Love Shack at our homeschool dances at church.
Wait, what? Oh my God.
Because there's like a line dance to it.
Did the tin roof rust?
Oh, Cullen.
No pregnancies that I was aware.
Yeah. It says a lyric from the B-52 song hit song Love Shack, tin roof rusted, interpreted by some to mean pregnant, usually with an unintended baby.
Why?
Fun fact.
I've never heard that.
I could anatomically explain it to you.
I'm
if you
good.
think about your uterus as a tin roof.
No need.
Anyway, yeah. So I was like, it's very about, going to hook up in this one place, and then that happens. It's like, oof. But it also, I thought was funny because I don't know if we mentioned it, but when Rachel and Finn first announced that they were getting married, Puck was like, "Oh, great, when's the baby due?" I thought that was an interesting possible connection there. It was funny.
But here's the thing. This is for kids. This show is for kids, right? These are all valid. They're all valid storylines, but for kids?
Yeah, Glee's a tough sell. I actually don't know how it worked. Like I think it just was right place, right time kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think there are people who were on it. I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
There were people who were writing for this show who had an agenda and wanted it put out there at that time.
Also, like thinking about Ryan Murphy's background to this point, he did a show Nip Tuck before this. That's not a kid show. That is an adult TV show. So
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's
supposed to be really good, right?
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. It's really good. But yeah, it's not a kid's show. It's basically an adult drama. So, and then everything after that has basically been some sort of adult drama or horror with comedy elements.
He has,
Pretty much since
Scream
then.
Queens and The Politician were both marketed towards younger audiences, like high school age.
Right. So would you say The Politician is, I don't know, like how do you define suitable for kids?
Kids show, but as young adult, like YA,
Right.
the YA section of the library.
Right. Yeah. Which is a vast section because like there's so many things that could actually be YA. Yeah. Glee's a tough sell.
In what age do you consider YA?
That, I mean, like people reading Twilight at like 11, 12. But then there's like
it's freaking creepy anyway.
But like what else would be YA? Like there's like other way less, you know. Oh yeah, I guess it is sexual because it does end up leading to sex. But there are others that are not as sexual that are also considered YA. They're more just about like mundane experiences.
Right. Right.
And one of the problems with YA just in general is that it has such a wide range of audiences. Literally, probably I was reading young adult fiction and I was, I don't know, maybe 9. And then I still read it because honestly, it's the best genre.
Young adult, you're talking about young adult fiction at age 9 because of your reading level, not necessarily because of your maturity level.
Yeah,
but the topics they talk about.
Yeah, the topics, like the topics are all, they're not necessarily divided into genres except for YA. So you have YA romance and fantasy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's there's not really a rating system.
Right.
So I feel like that's what part of the problem is.
Yeah, because there are YA romances that are like historical fiction, like medieval stories or whatever, that would have sexual overtones that closely resemble shows like The Tudors. Like there was a book series that I read when I was maybe like 12 or 13 that had some pretty serious overtones. So like, yeah, I guess Glee is, and other sort of shows like it are sort of the sort of YA genre for TV that sort of encompasses a lot of different audiences.
Well, you remember Juliet the Wolf that I read? Like
me? Yes, I remember Juliet the Wolf.
You, my mother.
I thought you were talking to Hannah. I'm sorry.
No. But when did I first read that?
I'm thinking when we moved here, so 6th grade, maybe before then. I don't know.
A little younger than that. But anyway, that book has reference to rape. She like runs away from her husband. She gets married at like 13 or something.
What?
She doesn't want to be married to that person and like runs away, and that's why she has to survive in the wild with wolves.
That's fantastic. Thank you for telling me that.
So many years later.
You read that at age 7? Great.
I didn't get to age 7. I wasn't that advanced at 7. But I'm just saying, like, there are a lot of intense topics that happen in young adult fiction and TV that, like,
it's true.
It's not anything that's new.
And I think that's a good comparison, the YA reading genre, to like, like even like Riverdale, it's marketed to teens and young adults, right? Cullen, you would say?
Yeah.
But there are probably some mature overtones, like, student teacher inappropriate relationships. That's what episode 1, that's really all I remember. I'm so sorry, Cullen. I never got further than like the 3rd episode. Yeah, so I think it is a sort of like amalgamation of things that aren't quite for kids or for adults, and I think that that makes up a lot of media for people who are teenagers, is because they go from right to high school to adulthood. So it's sort of like this mash of, you know, how mature are they really? So even their media is kind of, you know,
so wouldn't it be nice?
Uncategorized.
Wouldn't it be nice if those were actually mom and dad sat down with their kids and watched those so they could talk about it?
Yeah, I mean,
that would be fantastic.
That's something that, like, I am a big proponent of. Like there's a lot of obviously this is a big digression, but I think it does sort of still relate to our conversation. But YouTube is having a big problem with parents complaining to them about how their kids are just able to go and look at pretty much anything they want on YouTube. You know, even with parental restrictions, there are still some videos they can see that have, you know, foul language or certain, you know, subjects or topics. But you know that, like, one of the main things that comes down to it is, like, parents should really try to sit down with their kids, watch things, and let them know, like, these are the things that you probably shouldn't watch and why. Like, better educating kids, because corporations can really only do so much. And because they're so big, you know, Fox was the company that produced Glee. They're owned by Disney. Like, they're huge. They can really only do so much for ratings.
You shouldn't let TV raise your kid. I say with no children, like I'm an authority. But,
right.
No, but you're right. You know, you're right, Cullen, because you know, I can sit here and say, if that was on my TV, I would turn it off. We had one TV. So if it was off.
This is a TV now.
It was off. Right. I didn't have children who walked around with cell phones and could get online anytime they wanted. Or so I thought. Anyway.
Well, not only that, but this was a network television show, which means it came on at a specific time.
7 o'clock. That's family TV time. 7 o'clock. Like 7 to 8 o'clock. Glee did.
I don't think it should have been on at that time, but that's just me. I'm pretty conservative, as y'all probably figured out. And what my kids watched, I tried to watch. I tried to see what they were watching.
Yeah.
Luckily, they didn't want to watch Glee. So there's that. But then, I mean, we could go on for days about this. What, Allyssa?
I said I was reading a lot, and I know you didn't read everything that I read, so.
I tried, but I did not.
That takes way too long.
I read Harry Potter, and I watched it as you read it and watched it. I mean, I did the best I could, but now parents, I mean, there's so much more to worry about.
Yeah.
And I won't go into all that, but yeah.
So I guess it's a good thing Glee isn't airing now. But there's other things that have taken its place.
It's available on Netflix.
That's true. It's on Netflix. Even with parental controls, like, yeah, there are just so many ways around it. But
it's not the worst thing out there.
Right.
By any means. It's not the worst thing out there.
Yeah. I just remember in college talking about this a lot because everyone wants to dissect, like in communication especially, they want to dissect the messages of like Disney movies and stuff. But I remember I was always like, yeah, but you can't just expect a movie to answer every life question and you need to have a dialogue with your kids. Because I remember watching like The Little Mermaid as a kid and my mom being like, she's just 16. Like, she's being kind of a brat. Like, and she still let us watch the movie and we still enjoyed it as a family. But like, I was given a message of, oh, maybe I shouldn't emulate everything this character does.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the parents' job to be involved in their children's lives. Hence, here I am on podcast.
Yes. Like, what is Allyssa watching?
Even when I don't have quote unquote children anymore. They are still my children.
Yes.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. I'm glad we had that conversation. That was...
Media literacy is like something I'm very interested in. And I'm actually really glad we had this conversation about Glee because it's super valid. Like who really is it for? Like everybody and also nobody. It's really weird.
Yeah. So now it's time for Tina
time.
Tina had 2 lines.
Wow.
Wait, do you count her song?
No, we don't count songs.
So
she had
first time around, I didn't even know who she was.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Second time around, I'm like, oh, she spoke.
And one of them was her inserting herself possibly into Rachel's wedding as a bridesmaid, even though she may or may not have been invited.
Yep.
So that's tricky. I do have one line that I just saw here. So I think it's Hiram Barry who says, you know, when they're realizing that like their plan kind of backfired and Rachel's, you know, kind of getting into this big thing.
The Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Okay.
He says honesty, respect, dance. Those are the three like themes of their family. And I was like, I love it. Honesty, respect, dance.
We did that too. That was our 3.
Oh, yeah, the 3 pillars of our household were honesty, respect, dance.
And dance.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Dance was the only pillar.
Right. You should see us.
So now it's time for MVPs and LVPs. So Beth, who is your least favorite character this week?
My least favorite, was Sugar.
Mm.
The moment she spoke. Both times.
Yeah. And funny, she was the one who was like, I have self-diagnosed Asperger's. And so she was like really, really rude the very first few times. But now she was just kind of like meh to me based on that.
Well, I haven't heard you guys speak of her because I'm way behind.
That's why I'm like, wait till you hear what she says like in the past, man. Oof.
Yeah, no.
My LVP this week is gonna be Rachel, because she wouldn't let Finn do his business. Like let him poop. It's fine. Like that's honestly the least thing, like the smallest thing you ever have to worry about in a relationship is like the other person going to the bathroom.
Is it though?
It is in my relationship at least. Oh God.
Call me in 31 years.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Let's see. I think my least valuable player this week is going to be Rachel's dad that's not Hiram.
Leroy,
yes.
Okay.
Because at least Hiram was like, but I like Finn. But Leroy was definitely not anywhere close to liking Finn. And he kept having that dream about
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
I mean, of the two, like they were both annoying, but of the two, Leroy just kind of annoyed me more. Probably because I like Jeff Goldblum. If it was someone else, maybe I would not feel that way. But her dad's really annoyed me.
Tony Danza is also like one of those references that like, if you're a kid, you're not going to get that unless your parents have talked to you about like Taxi. Like that's really, or is it Taxi? Yeah, Taxi. So yeah.
Wasn't he in something else too? I don't know.
I don't know. I only just know him as Tony Danza, and that's all I know him as, is just himself.
Hey.
I've heard the name. That's kind of it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
I've never even heard the name, so I have no idea who he is.
My LVP was Artie. He was just annoying, and he disrespected Rory's accent. And I didn't feel bad for him losing because he treats every woman he dates terribly.
Yeah, and Sugar is no different. He's not really invested in her as a person. I can guarantee that. I would know he's my Glee boyfriend.
Of course.
Yeah. He's not invested in me as a person either.
So now it's time for MVP. So Beth, who is your favorite character this week?
I like Joe.
Joe.
New person on the block. He really had, he was like, I've got nothing to lose. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. And sure, I won't be judgmental. I'll sing to anybody if there's love involved. I liked him.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with, I had Santana written down because she stood up to Figgins and had really sweet moments with Brittany. But I actually think I'm gonna go with Blaine for ripping off his eye patch. For one, wearing it when he clearly didn't need it. He did it for the drama, and then ripping it off again for the drama. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Blaine.
I'm going to go with Mercedes this episode because she basically was like, you know what? I'm done with boys. I don't want to have, even though I still have feelings for you, you're not right for me right now. And I'm going to invest in myself. So go Mercedes.
Whoop, whoop.
I still have, I'm going to go with Finn.
Okay.
Because he was excited by the really annoying dinner theater. I thought that was sweet. And he's very relatable because, like Finn, I also poop. And I'd like people to accept that.
We all had different answers. That's really cool.
for everything.
Yeah.
So now the songs. So there were lots of songs. There was Going to the Chapel, Gonna Get Married.
We're counting that. Oh boy.
LOVE. Let Me Love You. Stereo Hearts. Home. I Will Always Love You. You're the Top. Cherish/Cherish. And Love Shack. So Beth, what was your least favorite song?
You're the Top. Is that with the two dads?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I liked I liked the situation and what they were going for, but I didn't think they did well.
Yeah. That's gonna be my honorable mention for worst song. That and also the Going to the Chapel song. But I'm actually gonna go with Home because it doesn't actually fit into being a love song, I don't think. And also I just wasn't super engaged in it. Sorry, Rory. He always sings slow songs.
Yeah, they kind of gave him like this Michael Bublé sort of.
He's so morose.
I want to see him sing a rock song.
Yeah.
Would he have to move his lips?
No,
that's true. So maybe that's why he sticks in that very small section of Moreau's songs, so he doesn't have to move his lips very much.
My least favorite song, I'm gonna go with To the Top.
You're the Top.
You're the Top. Yeah, that one. Pretty much just because like they weren't actually singing it and it was weird. Like it's very strange.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going with You're the Top Two with an honorable mention to the Cherish mashup.
Oh,
I found it boring.
It's, yeah, okay.
Yeah, agree to disagree.
I can see that.
So Beth, what was your favorite song?
Okay, so I have to tell you, the first time through, actually both times, but the first time I heard it, I thought, I Will Always Love You. I'm like, nobody can sing that the same way as
Whitney
Houston. Thank you. And she did amazing. I thought she was amazing. The second time through, I sang it with her like I always used to do. But honorable mention, Hannah, I have to say, was Home. I really, really liked the way he sang it. So
very nice.
But first and foremost, I Will Always Love You. Although I didn't think it really fit well with her situation like it did in Bodyguard. It was a little off, but I like the song.
Yeah. So I Will Always Love You is my honorable mention. I agree. I think Mercedes, like, there's always those songs you're like, the original cannot be beat, but Mercedes, she gets so close, like as close as anyone can.
Yeah.
So definitely for that. But I'm going with the Cherish mashup. I don't know what it is. I like it. And honestly, if you think about, Cullen, you know me, my preferences, you should be shocked by this. You should be like, this doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't. And I know that. I think there's a weird, maybe sentimental value I have because I used to listen to it a lot, that maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I'm going with Cherish still, but still, I Will Always Love You is definitely up there.
I'm going to go with I Will Always Love You because Mercedes killed it. And I love that song. And I also love the movie The Bodyguard and Ghost.
What song are you thinking of from Ghost?
Nothing to do with this episode.
The one that they sing when they're like
during the pottery scene.
Yes,
they're making the pottery.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. Do you remember that song?
I know what scene you're talking about, but I can't remember the song. It's also very sensual. It's a very sensual song.
Yes.
Right.
Hannah's looking it up.
Yeah, you see my glasses.
Cullen might be looking it up too.
I feel like
right now I wrote song during Allstate commercial, song during Jim and Pam's wedding, song during Bridgerton wedding.
Anyway, so I'm going with I Will Always Love You and honorable mention to Love Shack because it was super high energy and really fun to watch.
It was fun.
Unchained Melody?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Is it the original to the movie or is it a remake?
I think it's a remake.
It's I don't know. Just Google says it is the Righteous Brothers. So that would, I think, be the original. But I don't know I can't remember if the one in the movie is the original or not.
First released 60 years ago in 1955.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's a remake.
Oh, it's a remake.
Boom. I do still know things.
My favorite was Home.
Oh.
I listen to that cover whenever I'm homesick.
Aww.
I think he has a really good voice. And yeah, it could be more exciting. Like, I wish it was tied in the story better. Like, maybe once the kids go to college or something, one of them could sing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the cover.
Yeah, I also think that, like, it could be better tied to, like, him actually connecting to something about his family. Like, but he's done this already in the Christmas episode where he sang Blue Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the same thing, but now he's faking it. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he sang it well.
Yes.
He did sing it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Beth, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Yay.
So fun
It was
to
a blast.
have you on, Mom.
What?
I said it's so fun to have you on, Mom.
Thank you. It was so fun to be here.
Do you have any social medias you'd like to plug?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Thank you, though.
You don't want to get on the Instagram and start putting pictures up? Or,
Yeah,
no.
no. Not even on Facebook, Hannah. I have an account, but I don't go there very often.
So Gleeboot is on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We are at Gleeboot Pod, and then we are also on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at your boy Ryan99, YABOI Ryan99. You can follow me on YouTube at your boy Ryan, YABOI Ryan.
And you can follow me on Instagram at a.m.swearingen, SWEARINGEN. And I actually did post new things.
You did. You
did.
posted some more sketches of your D&D characters, right? Or those NPCs?
No, that's a character.
Okay.
He's
got an eye patch too.
Yes, he does. Elsie has an eye patch.
Thank you for allowing me to participate in this podcast. It was fun.
Of course. It was so awesome to have you on and to chat with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I chat with you at least once a week, but Hannah hasn't talked to you in like at least a year.
So long, yeah.
On a while.
Now we have to try to get other parents of the podcast on. That should be really fun.
Ooh, good luck getting Dad on.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine.
I need to be here if it happens.
You'll be sitting in the back just like laughing at him and like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he probably won't say a thing. He'd be like, what?
or we could have like we'll just like have him watch the episode and we'll just like take some of the highlights of his comments and just like integrate it into the episode. Be like, and here's what Alyssa's dad said. That could be kind of funny.
Honestly, he'd probably fall asleep.
Here's what his dad said.
But here is
Like,
more.
I agree.
Like,
I couldn't have said it any better. This was boring. Yes,
It
Beth,
was
thank
the
you so much for
highlight
coming on.
of my weekend. I was like, oh, I get to do something new. That's kind of fun.
Yay!
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you,
Of course.
Lissa. It was good to see you guys.
Love you
Yes.
too.
Me too.
I have to go to bed now. I have to get up early.
Yeah.
Bye, and bye, listeners.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.